Hello everyone, welcome to DTBTV. This is my Friday night show, and I'm just going to focus on a subject which has been, literally causing a lot of dispute on the pages of all Liverpool pages, which is Divock Origi. So this is out of today's Liverpool Echo, so I'm going to read this post here by Paul Gerst, the chief writer that I always read out. And this is a piece after, it's got to do with Palace, but it's also got to do with AC Milan from what we did the night as well. So here we go. The message was delivered softly, but Jurgen Klopp made sure it wasn't missed. The Liverpool boss had just handed Divock Origi his first start since January and was fielding the inevitable questions about the sudden and shock re-emergence of the Belgian striker. Subtly, the Liverpool boss made it known that Origi was and still is up for sale, even if it was drowning in elusive praise. After sitting it out entirely in 3 games already this season, Origi's inclusion at home to AC Milan in the Champions League took everyone by surprise. After all, his last cameo goal for the Reds came 12 months ago when he registered the ultimate meaningless 7th in the hammering of Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup. But here he was starting a huge Champions League game once more. Given his Anfield legacy has been largely written in this competition, save for an apparent zest for the Merseyside derby heroics, it should probably be no great bombshell to see him earn a recall into Europe's premier competition. One early side-footed flash well wide of the target, but the magnitude of the fixture at least seemed to bring Origi out of his curious slumber he has also too often been when called upon by Jurgen Klopp. His assist for Mohamed Salah to make it 2-2 early in the second half was inspired as he scooped the ball over the Milan defence for the Egyptian to eventually convert. His run lasted about an hour before his inactivity over the last 8 months saw him succumb to cramp. Unsurprisingly, Klopp said plenty of nice things about the striker after the game, but his blunt assessment of Origi's future perhaps caught many off guard. To be 100% honest, I thought he would leave in the summer, but the football world is crazy a place, and obviously people forgot how good he is. It was not an off-the-cuff remark either. Just a few moments earlier, Klopp had told BT Sport, in the summer transfer window, we all thought obviously people don't watch football enough. Div is a sensational striker and did well today. One striker for sale. Given this Origi's first start since the defeat to Burnley in January on Klopp's watch, the wider football world could be forgiven for their collective amnesia where he's concerned. It seems a long time ago since he was the leading striker for Klopp's first choice striker, scoring big goals against Dortmund and Everton way back in 2016. Still only 26 though, the one-time Lille frontman should be approaching his peak years as an all-action international striker. Whether they will arrive at Anfield remains open to interpretation. Still over 7 years on from Liverpool's confirmation of the 10 million catcher. The smart money though would indicate they will not. Actions may speak louder than words, but Klopp's post-match comments are more pointed than the starting of Origi against Milan, given the lack of genuine depth available to Liverpool's forward line. Whether he leaves, Origi will always be heralded for a scattered hot patch at moments of delirium he feats having induced amongst the Reds fan base. One briefly glorious goal-leading period in the closing weeks of the 2-8-2-19 campaign will also never be forgotten by those on the Kop. Nor Klopp, who said Origi would be considered a Liverpool legend in 10 years' time for the strikes that helped the Reds to their 6th European Cup. But if Origi remains in the shop window, as it were, then it hands Liverpool a dilemma in the coming weeks and months. The Africa Cup of Nations will leave them without their 2 biggest goal threats at the turn of the year, and while the length of their absence has perhaps overplayed, Klopp simply doesn't have the strength in depth to cope with Salah and Mane for too long. So will a potentially rejuvenated Origi, who may yet catch the eye for suitors between now and January, be blocked from ending what has been a sporadic Liverpool spell in the winter window? Or have the club already made significant inroads to line up another addition to their attack should he depart? Given Klopp's blunt insistence that he expected Origi to leave in the summer, it would surely hint at the latter. Even for the German, a manager who prefers to work with a smaller, more tight-knit squad, losing Origi on top of Shaqiri would surely have sent the recruitment team into the market for replacements. For now, Origi will be given more chances to resonate a Liverpool career that has flatlined but decisions will be looming when 2020 rolls. So basically, that's a great piece by Paul Gorse on Origi, and the fact that that was his first start since January. Bear in mind we're in September. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's 9 months without a start, and there was people on this group giving him shit. Unreal. But that's a great piece, and that's why I like reading these out on my show in the Echo. Just reading your comments. Mark Owens, thought Origi played well, back to goal, turning play strong, good feet. We need to support the player and have confidence in Klopp's selection. Highlight your top, mate. Yeah, this is a new trading top, well, the new staff top for AFC Liverpool. As you can see, it's got 97 on this side because the camera's that way. So we've got the 97 on as well, which is lovely, yeah. So yeah, this is what staff wear. We've got a game tomorrow, Northwich Victoria away. They're a really good side, Northwich. I was having a look at them earlier. Their record attendance was 10,000. They got to the FA Cup third round against Watford. So there's one more piece I'm going to read out from a little show that I do, and it's called it's not a means, it's an end, and I quite like this piece as well, actually. So this is my last one I'm going to read out. Let's get the paper straight. You'd have thought Liverpool's opponents would have learned by now. Mere moments before the Reds' Champions League group opener at Anfield, a murmur spread across the stadium. AC Milan, desperate for any advantage, were employing an age-old trick on Liverpool. Alisson Becker slowly trotted away from the Kop as opposite number Mike Maignan headed towards him. It soon became apparent that Milan had won the toss. A small victory for the Italian side, but Liverpool would ultimately prevail 3-2 in the instant classic to make a winning start to this season's Champions League campaign. Milan's efforts to unsettle the Reds served as a reminder of the mistake opposing clubs are continuing to make. Yes, tradition dictates Liverpool would sooner be kicking towards a Kop in the second half, but it seems that ending the game attacking the Annie Road end makes no difference to Jurgen Klopp's side these days. Statistics show that almost 7 years have passed since Liverpool have lost a home game when they were asked to kick towards a Kop in the first half. Already this season, Burnley have beaten Already this season, Burnley have been beaten at Anfield, also winning the toss, while Tottenham Hotspur fell last term. Leicester City, Arsenal, Newcastle, and in the FA Cup, Everton were defeated in 2-19-2-20, while 2-18-2-19 it happened 4 times with West Ham, Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle, Wolves all defeated. The previous season, Man City were beaten in both the Champions League quarter-final and the Premier League. Brighton and Hove Albion were thrashed 4-0, and although Burnley and Tottenham got draws, in 2016-17 Stoke Mills were beaten in the Premier League, having won the toss, while West Ham Chelsea came away with a point. In 2015-16 there was a similar return with Villarreal defeated 3-0 in the Europa League, Everton thrashed 4-0 and Bournemouth beaten 1-0, Sunderland and Newcastle securing 2-2 draws. Indeed, you'd have to go back into the early 2014 season campaign for when Liverpool lost their last game attacking the Kop in the first 45 minutes. Blackburn Rovers held out for a goalless draw in the FA Cup, while Burnley, Tottenham and West Ham were all beaten. So who are the last team to beat Liverpool at Anfield having won the toss? It's Real Madrid, who won 3-0 in the Champions League in 2014. At least with all 3 goals coming in the first half, the Kop was spared seeing the defeat. Liverpool's heaviest at home in the European Cup up close. Of course, with Anfield having become a fortress under Klopp, provided there are fans inside to watch, of course, in which direction they start the game has become somewhat immaterial. But it's clear for some time that winning the toss is not an advantage away teams hope it could be. So that's a lovely little piece about the stats on winning the toss and that. So yeah, that's 2 pieces. I'll do a bit more in the next few days. But have a great weekend, everyone. Obviously, like I say, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm away with AFC Liverpool at Northwich. But I hope the Reds win, both of us, for the non-league Reds and for the Premier League Reds. You'll never walk alone.